Hey guys, Derick Van Ness, wealth strategist, investor, and life adventurer, and today I want to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that's the idea of why financial strategy does not need to be complex. And I know like the record's going to go, right? But the reality is it doesn't need to, and my hope is that by the end of this video, you're going to understand how to make better decisions and why financial strategy doesn't need to be complex. In fact, why financial strategy being complex is a bad thing, right? So here's how I kind of figured this out. Like as I started to make a bunch of money when I was in my 20s and early 30s, what you find is when you make a lot of money, a lot of opportunities come your way, right? Tons of people are like, oh, you should put money in the stock market. You should put it in these REITs. You should put it in syndications. You should do private placement memorandums, invest in land, oil and gas, like all this stuff, right, starts coming at you and coming at you and coming at you. And you learn very quickly that if you don't learn how to say no, if you don't learn how to vet things, a fool and his money can soon be parted, right? And I was parted from some of my money along the way. I was defrauded and had some different things happen. And that's how I learned a lot of these lessons, right? So here's the thing. If we just stop and think from a common sense standpoint, if I were to ask you, you've got a bunch of money or you're making money, you're saving money, your life savings every single month, every single year, do you want it to be in a place that's so complex that you don't understand it, or in a place that you do understand it and control it, right? Most people would say, well, I'm saving my life savings there. I should probably control this, right? Or know how it works. And I would agree 100%. But here's the thing. A lot of the organizations that are out there, a lot of the groups that are out there, they feed on confusion. And we see this in politics, we see this in marketing, we see this in everything, right? People get confused and they feel like, I don't know, so I just need to trust a professional. And the truth is, you need to know how to work with professionals. But I also believe that if you're going to do something, you need to know enough about it independently to make a good decision and to use that professional effectively. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, if you don't know where your money's going, this is a problem, right? And this is something that's really pervasive out there. So don't let people confuse you into giving your money away to them because you think you're not smart enough. That is a lie, 100%. Now, you may not know what they know, and that's okay, but you can learn it if you decide you want to, right? But here's the thing. I truly believe this, and one of my mantras, I'm sure you've heard it on my videos before, is you should invest in things you know about, things you care about, and things you control. If you don't know about it, why would you put money into it? If you don't care about it, you're not going to pay attention to it. So why would you do that? Because things you don't pay attention to, relationships, health, your business, money, if you don't pay attention to them, it goes badly, right? And the last thing is control. If you don't have the ability to impact how that money is going to work, why would you want to be there, right? Like one of the things I have, and a lot of people know this, that I don't love the stock market. One of the problems I have with the stock market is if the stock market starts to crash, what are your options? As Joe Average, your options are two things. Sell and take a loss, or wait it out and hope you don't take a bigger loss, right? Now the guys the Wall Street guys will tell you, stay in it for the long haul and forever, and you'll end up ahead. And sure, that's true. But if you do the math, there have been decades where the stock market literally was flat, and if you factor in fees, you lost money. Why lose money for 10 years? You would have been better off in a savings account, right? So we won't get into all of that. But here's the bottom line. You don't want to put money in things you don't understand and you're not confused. Keep it simple. Here's my formula. First thing is, be really good at what you do. You're going to make the majority of your wealth in your career or your business or your job, right? If you don't make a lot of money there, you don't even have money to invest. It's a waste of time. So you got to get that right. So get the right education, get the right mentor, get the right job, start the right kind of business, and invest in your business and yourself to become excellent. If you get that right, you'll have a lot more money. And even if you screw some things up, you can be okay. The second thing is, as you make some of that money, you want to learn how to save. You got to take chips off the table. Saving is not complex, right? You just say, okay, 10%, 20% of everything that I make comes off the table. At first goes into a savings account, because if you don't have a savings account and something goes wrong, you got to cash out of your investments or wherever else you're putting your money anyway. Third is put your money into things that either you know about, care about, and control, or that have guarantees, right? we teach a system called cash flow banking, or the money maximization model, that teaches you how to get your money working for you. If you don't know what to invest in yet, just save it there. Let it always go up, let it always grow, and then when the right things come along, you can take your money and put it over there, right? And the truth is, with the types of returns people are getting in those kinds of accounts, you need to have a really great investment out there, or you may as well just grow it in the account and you'll outwork a lot of that stuff. So savings, really simple, kind of hard to screw it up. Put your money in a place, or put your money in a place where it's not at risk and where it always goes up, right? Okay. That's the second part. Third part is, if you do decide to take some of that money and put it to work, put it into things that you understand, right? That you know about, care about, and control. So if you're in a specific industry, invest. So I work with a lot of chiropractors and dentists, right? Maybe if you're a chiropractor or a dentist and you're looking for something to invest in, maybe you invest in new dental clinics, right? Other dentists who want to go and start their own clinic, and they need money rather than going to the bank, maybe they come to you. You can make a nice rate of return. You can have, it's something you care about because you're helping dentistry be moving forward. And you have some control. If things go awry, maybe you have to take it over. Maybe you need to go in there and help that dentist get their act together. But the risk is so much lower for you because it's in things you know about, understand, and care about, right? So it's a massive difference, and it's so much simpler. You don't worry about what's the market doing, what's going to happen, what's Ray Dalio saying, what's the latest book on this new sophisticated stuff. You don't need all that nonsense. The average person, if you have a great business or career, if you start saving 10 to 20% of what you make, if you buy a house and you're making payments, and listen, houses I wouldn't call are a great investment, but here's the reality: you have to pay to live somewhere no matter what, whether you rent or whether you buy. If you're going to be somewhere more than 5 years, my belief is, and the numbers say that it's better to buy, you're going to come out way ahead with the tax advantages. It adjusts for inflation and appreciates. You get all the other things that come with that, and it does pay down the equity over time rather than losing all that money to rent. So if you just do those things, you've got a nice financial foundation, and none of that stuff is complicated, right? You know how to live in a house, you know how to save money, and you know how to run your business or your career. Then, if we get to the point where we're making good money, we have lots of extra, more than we can save, or we really want to get out there, then we can start looking at aligned investments, things that maybe you don't know about, but you care about, and you don't control them yet because you don't know much about them. So then you invest in education, and you become really educated in that one thing. Trying to be excellent at everything is a terrible idea. It's a losing game. At best, you'll become mediocre because there are people who live and breathe each one of those categories. So if you like real estate, do that. If you want to learn the stock market, spend the money and get educated there. If you want to do gold and silver or precious metals, if you want to do, there's a whole class called alternative investments, things outside of Wall Street. I have some guys who help people learn about those, right? And that's oil and gas and private equity, which is where you own parts of a company or can be an investor in companies, all that kind of stuff. So if you get to the point where you have a big chunk of money and now you've learned how to save consistently and now you want to start putting that stuff to work in some of these other things, then you can do that. But you're going to learn that specific area, become an expert in it, and do it. There's no complexity. You only do things you love. You keep it simple. You make a lot more money in your business. You're not distracted. It is the absolute best way to go, in my opinion. It means better quality of life, more time with your family, less stress, dealing with things where you feel in control, because that's one of the biggest things that steals happiness is lack of control. If you don't feel like you have the ability to control outcomes, people get really, really unhappy, right? So that's the key to this. If you follow that formula, right? Be excellent at what you do, learn how to save consistently, save into places that always go up, buy a home if you're going to live in a place for more than a couple of years, and then if you decide to go outside, get educated first in that particular area, become an expert at that, and then if it's worth it, you can do investments in that. If you just follow that formula, that can take you all the way to the top. No outside experts, no stock market stuff, no investing in a bunch of mystery things or something that you hope goes really, really well because it almost never works out. Forget all that. Stick with what you know, what you're good at. Spend more time with your family. Do more things that you love in your life. and you can live big that way. So if this was a valuable video, why don't you go ahead and hit the like button, pass this on to people who need to see it, and please, above all, subscribe. We'd love to have you seeing all the videos. If you're on my email list, I send out a lot of emails, but I don't send out everything that we do on YouTube. So yeah, love your help. Comment below if you have questions, and I will be sure to personally reply to those. My name's Derick Van Ness. I appreciate you coming by, and I want you to get out there and live big.